So I guess now I'm gonna try to put the tune in it. All right, just pulled up to Arizona Drive Shaft and Differential. I dropped my drive shafts off to these guys yesterday at 2 o'clock, and they called me at 10:30 this morning, and they already got both drive shafts done. So if you're in Arizona and looking for some quality drive lines and quick turnaround, these are your guys. All right, look at that. Nice and clean, freshly painted. Thanks, guys. My UPS next day air package just landed. It had the ECU in it. I just put it in, just connected the battery. This is gonna be the first attempt of anything. Putting the key in. Look at that. I've got park, reverse, neutral, and drive. Heck yeah. All right, it did say to turn the key on, let it register, and then turn the key back off. Okay, it does not have the tune in it. Yeah. So I guess now I'm gonna try to put the tune in it, and then if that works, then we'll get the gear selector working. But I'm just stoked that it actually shows park and neutral and drive on here. We'll see. The one thing that I don't know, honestly, is if I did ask them, but maybe I should plug in the JScan and make sure that they change the VIN number before I get too ahead of myself. If you guys are not familiar with JScan, it's really cool. You use one of these dongles, it's Bluetooth. This is an iCar Pro, and then I think it's like $15, and it registers to your VIN, and then you can change check engine lights, and you can also change vehicle parameters. I know just enough to be dangerous, but you can change a lot of things in this vehicle. So this connected. Wow. All right, that was my fears. They were not going to change the VIN number. And the good news is they did change the VIN number. So if you guys watched my last video, I sent this ECU in, and I sent it to Jeep Speed Shop, and they changed the VIN number. But because I have a supercharger, you then have to take that ECU, send it to Holley, and have them unlock it. I didn't know that. I tried to load the tune in, and because it was the same VIN number, it attempted it, and it actually bricked the ECU. But Holley was able to get the ECU to restore. It's the $200 to unlock any ECU, plus freight. So I next day shipped it to them on Monday. They got it Tuesday. They shipped it out to me on Wednesday, and I got it. Today's Thursday, and I got it today. So if the tuning works, man, I gotta just put in drive lines, and I gotta go drive this thing this weekend. So I'm pretty darn stoked. So the only thing that we're not 100% sure, and I don't think it's gonna matter, is that if there's any differences between the engine tuning from the auto or from the manual to the auto, and whether it's gonna care or not. But I think we're just gonna have to drive it, and it's gonna be a little bit clunky because we also got to have the transmission relearn itself. So I'm just gonna go put some miles on it at that point, and then just to keep it really easy, drive it like a true mall crawler, and then we'll go from there. 96 degrees out right now, so that's pretty cool. I would run the mini split, but I want to keep the door open. All right, so now we're reading the PCM. This is where I get super nervous. It's because if anything goes wrong, can't fix it. And I did not put on the supercharger. If you've been following, I bought the Jeep the way it is. It does feel real peppy for the little amount that I've driven it. I don't know if it's worth the hiccups. This is a Sprintex supercharger, which is not a super popular brand. Most people don't want to tune it. The tune is from Holley, but for Sprintex. Everyone else that does custom tuning, they want to use an HP tuners. And the one quote that I got for tuning was $2,600. And honestly, for that price, I'll wheel it through our winter, and I'll put an LS in it at that point. So they make an adapter for the 8-speed, but I don't want to have to do that. But if I'm gonna have to spend $2,500, I'm gonna put an LS in it way before I spend that to just get a V6 to work. So gonna go ahead and shut it off. Now the only thing that's scaring me right now is that it said it was successfully tuned, but it was not showing the shift indicators. So that's a little bit scary. So that's the whole, does it work with an auto, manual, etc., etc. It does not. We'll go ahead and just try to start it. If I push in the clutch and it starts, yeah, see, that's the problem. Alright, so that's exactly what I thought. So now it thinks it's a manual again, because I'm having to push the clutch in. So there's one more hurdle that we have to figure out. Alright, it's hot as balls. Rear drive line's in. It goes backwards, so we're gonna put it in the driveway, attempt to reinitialize the transmission, and go from there. Here goes now. Works. So let's go neutral. I'm in first. I'm gonna go forward just a little bit. Okay. Brake work. Back and forth. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing. It's fourth. Fifth. I mean, it's shifting fine. Stock tune on a supercharger. Regardless. It's instantly. He says it'll shift like every 200 RPM, and it is. That's third. Fourth. Fifth. I don't think the speedometer is anywhere close to 100. That's sixth. Guy on YouTube crushes C8 Corvette.
Dude, it's just fucking idling, isn't it?
We've been living since around all the feels I've got.
I just really wanted to see how it crawled. It's pretty much like I was hoping. It feels like 00 in the Toyota. Walked right up this rock without the front locker on. Now I'm able to flex it out too. I am hitting back here pretty hard. So it's crushing here, but that's nothing that a cutoff wheel can't fix. I'll just clearance there. It does have bumps. They're ghetto as heck. And I'm on the bump pretty hard. It's all pushed down, but they're all rubber, right? It's not like an air bump, so that can get solved with an air bump. You see kind of roughly. I mean, the tire is above my head. That's my eyeballs. So it's a pretty good sized rock. But yeah, pretty stoked about it so far.
Said everything's alright. Roller coaster, make it through the day upright. It seems your meal ticket is gone, but life goes on. I could never imagine something better. Yeah, right. Now you're cooking on high heat in the middle of the street. Roller coaster, take me to a better time. Let's go! All sing your highline with the roller coaster of life. It's time to all choose your timeline on the roller coaster of life. Oh, you seem to easily forget how to place your bet. Every day life gets you down, you gotta steal the fun. Got to own it, don't bitch and moan about it, please. God forbid you scrape your knees, and it's nothing to sneeze at. Oh, I've told you.
Alright, so I took the Jeep out this morning. I'm at 14 miles on the speedometer. Still don't have the fan on there, but the transmission's at 208 degrees. It's still learning itself. It shifts up fine, but I noticed that it has a little bit of a delay shifting down, so that if I roll into like a stop sign and don't actually stop, it still is in like second or third gear if you try to womp on it, so it's a little bit lazy. I don't know if that's just the transmission learning itself or the ECU conflict, which we'll get into when I get home. We'll go over all that. But at the end of the day, I mean, I'm pretty confident I can take this thing out wheeling, or at least driving. Seems to run pretty dang good. So I'm gonna dead stop. So now it's in first. Miles an hour, goes real smoothly into 8th gear. I'm rolling at 65 at, I don't know, 1800 RPM. It's pretty nice. So 212 right now. You know, to everyone that said I don't need to have that fan, I think you guys are crazy. I got beat up on the old Facebook how I was an idiot for putting a derailled transcooler with a fan, which is just mind-boggling to me. It doesn't have to run all the time. So I think it's more than kosher. All right, so we got 20 miles on it. I'm gonna end the video with this here, but I kind of want to give everyone as an update as to where I'm at, because I was told a lot of this wasn't going to work, and I was able to get a lot of things to work. So Again, most of this is because I have a Sprintex tuner. But when you do the 8-speed swap, I've said this 100 times, you take your ECU, if you're a manual, you buy an auto ECU, you send it to Jeep Speed Swap to match your VIN, you put it in and everything's good. If you already have an automatic, you don't do anything. You just put in the transmission, get the PCS module from Jeep Speed Swap, and you're good to go. So I get the auto ECU, and the Jeep will start, and I get gear indicators on the dash, the shifter works, the shift indicator works, everything works perfect in regards to transmission, but I don't get proper throttle response, obviously, because I need a tune for the supercharger. What's crazy, and this is where people say this shouldn't work, is because the VIN number matches my manual, I can load the supercharger tune into the auto ECU. When I do that, as you guys have seen, I can drive the Jeep. It drives phenomenal, it runs great, AFR is where it needs to be, but I have two problems. I lose gear indicator on the instrument cluster, and I also have to push in the clutch to start it. Now, pushing in the clutch is very easy to bypass, but I really want the shift indicator because it actually will show you on the dash to the right what gear you're in. Right now I'm kind of just guessing. So normal driving, like I just did, I just went to Walmart, I don't really care what gear it's in, but when I'm crawling, I do care. I want to know when I'm in first, second, third, especially when I'm in manual mode for crawling. So that's a problem. And everyone else wants to use HP tuners, which just means it's going to cost me a bunch of money. So I have a Diablo Sport with a Trinity T2 and be done with it. But for right now, since I have a dedicated TCM, I don't really think I'm hurting anything. I just get the oddball no shift indicator, clutch pedal needs to be pressed in when I start, and then I also discovered that cruise control doesn't work. Apparently if it's an auto, cruise control would work. But what I did want to note is I was told before in the previous video, Cherokee shifter with a JL indicator, it wasn't gonna work. And so far it's worked with the stock auto ECU programming and also with my Sprintex, it works perfectly. All the gear indicators work, the manual, plus and minus, everything works perfect. And also the next problem we had was sourcing this plug. So I found a website that had the plug. They wanted $87. $87 for one plug. I did a little bit more Googling, found out what the part number was, or what they call this guy, and I was able to find it on eBay. I had it here in 3 days, and I think it was $9.07, and it comes with the pigtail. Oh my gosh, guys. Finally got it. This is the YouTuber enthusiasm right here. I've had so many issues with the ECUs, the wrong tuning, etc., etc. Again, only issues if you have a supercharger or if you had a turbo. But long story short, I got to give a huge shout out to Dave. Can't say his last name, but Dave from needlesstorque.com. So I don't know if that's going to show up there, but needlesstorque.com. Dave has been an absolute godsend. He's worked with me all day to figure out what was going on, and then he rewrote me a tune for my auto ECU. Jump back in the Jeep, and everything works perfectly. Now I paid Dave to do some more custom tuning down the road, but for right now I can go drive the Jeep. But I kind of want to just show you guys where I'm at and prove that everything works. So rundown, 2016 JKU, formerly a manual, now has an auto ECU. I've got a 850 RE 8-speed transmission out of a Ram 1500. I have a harness from Jeep Speed Shop, along with a PCS TCM that was provided by Jeep Speed Shop. And now I've got a tune from needlesstorque.com, and I've got a Cherokee 8-speed shifter with a JL indicator. So that's a lot. I've been driving this Jeep. I put on 18.5 miles. After this video, I'm gonna go drive it some more now that we have a different tune on here. But I'm gonna flip the camera around. I'm gonna show you guys what we got going on. So first thing here is now you can see we have all of our shift indicators. Everything works. There's reverse, neutral, drive, go into paddle shift, and now that guy's gonna work too. So that's super cool. Another thing that I was not expecting, and got a lot of, is it actually shows trans temp right here in the dash. I would love to get my Diablo Sport to show trans tuning. I don't think it can, and I still would like to have a gauge. But for now, this works. I just want to have some sort of warning set up. Now the JL indicator also works. All the gears selected. Now obviously the Jeep's not back together. I'll do a whole nother video with the Jeep back together. And for those that are curious, at the end of this I'm gonna do a full video on just the transmission swap. Everything that I learned. I'm gonna re-go over all the parts that are used, maybe any parts that I didn't use, and all that good stuff. Another thing that I wanted to say is some of you guys have requested the parts list on YouTube, but you're not giving me your email, and I don't have a messenger on there. So my Facebook is private. It's private for a reason, but if you look up Willie_G_man, that is my Instagram. Shoot me a message on there with your email. I'll send you my parts list, or ask any questions that you guys may have. I want to preface this by saying I'm not an expert. I knew nothing going into this. I just heavily researched everything. So pretty confident in the swap now. Super stoked. Got a little more buttoning up to do. But for now, I'm going to jump back in the Jeep, and I'm going to go try to put another 10-15 miles on it and just see how she goes. Alright, I got the AC blowing cold. Wanted to show you guys I got everything working. Trans temperatures working perfect. 194. I'm in 5th gear. 45 miles an hour. Got a stop sign up here. Just finished another 10 miles. Everything is working so good. I can't wait to just go get this thing buttoned back up, get the interior back in it, and put some miles on it. I will get that fan wired up, even though everyone made fun of me a lot for putting a fan on that trans cooler, but it's mounted up under the body. I'm sitting at 212 degrees right now. The thermostat should be open and moving through that cooler. I don't think it's gonna get it much hotter than that, but I think it's nice to have a fan on there. I'm gonna do a follow-up video, getting everything back together and doing some more fine-tuning on the Jeep overall. I've got some steering stuff to fix. Next up's gonna be shocks and probably a new set of tires at some point, once the money bank fills back up. Anyways, that's it. Jeep moves. I'm super stoked. Looking forward to getting this thing all together and out on some trails once it cools down. I hope you enjoy. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment below, and we'll see you back out on the rocks soon.